Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Internal Compass podcast. I am Samuel Archambault. I am your host, osteopath, and kinesiologist. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about motivation. So, Internal Compass podcast is all about trying to realign yourself from inside out. And on that note, I have noticed that, especially for my clients, and a lot of people around me in the environment of pain management, emotional management, and especially when it comes to sticking to some routine, they have a lot of difficulty to stay motivated. A lot of people come to me or they try something new to try to manage their pain. They learn about a new way of doing some exercises. They learn about new techniques or new method, and then they get all excited. Their motivation is high, and then out of a sudden, they start doing it. 1, 2, 3 weeks starts, everything is good. Then they start to miss 1, 2, 3 days, and then the motivation starts to go low, 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 and then they just stop doing it. That is a problem that everybody will face, whether it is to follow an exercise program, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to start a new habit, like you're trying to start running, any type of things that you're either starting to do and you want to keep it going, or you try to stop them and you want to keep it like this so that you don't want to retake part into that activity, such as if you are trying to start to or stop smoking, for example. So you want to completely start or stop smoking. So I have a little tool for you today. So let's talk about motivation. First of all, I know I have probably named this episode all about motivation, but the reality is motivation is not, it's a state of mind. It's a state of bodily, experience. We feel motivated at a certain period of time. The thing is, motivation is not really something that is going to be constant. You're not always going to feel motivated to do your exercises about rehabilitation. You're not always going to be motivated to go for a walk outside. Because I'm telling you, when winter is going to come, now it's nice, it's summery, it's nice outside. But when it's cold, it's going to be gray. You will not want to go outside. And there are going to be many different factors like this in your environment that will make you not motivated at all. So trying to constantly reach for that specific motivation, I don't think that's the way to go, because motivation at some point in time, you are not going to feel motivated to do something. But now the real thing is, are you still able to continue your habit even though you are not motivated? Aha, that's the real thing. And that's where I want to lead you today. So I'm not going to give you secret things or methods to stay motivated at all time, because that's just not possible. You're going to wake up one day, you're not going to feel good. Your sleep was a disaster. And guess what? Even though you had all of those crazy methods or tricks, tips, well, you're not going to feel motivated one day. So trying to constantly reach for that motivation, I wouldn't see that as a viable option for the long term. That's why I really believe in creating habits. When you create habits, you don't need to be motivated, because it's a habit. You don't even have to think about it. It's just happening. And if you don't do it, something feels off. Same thing about, example, brushing your teeth. If you don't brush your teeth one day, it happens. If you don't brush your teeth one week, at some point you are going to want to brush your teeth, right? Because it is a habit. It's something you probably do every single day, even twice a day sometimes. So it is normal for you to come back to that habit. And for me, whether it is you want to start jogging, you want to do your exercises I have prescribed you, you want to stick to any type of routine, there are specific tools that you can help yourself to implement those habits so that they are going to stick over the long run. And that you don't need motivation, because again, the habit is going to support you. Think about it this way. Creating habit is kind of a situation where you are yourself, and then the habit, you're on a bike together, on a tandem bike, where two people can bike at the same time. At first, you yourself, you are going to have to bike a lot at the beginning, much more than your habit. Basically, you'll have to bike for both of you guys. So if they're uphill, one day it's hard, you invest double of the amount of effort, your habit is just going to be there in the background. The thing is, the more you go, the more you will advance on the journey of building habits, the more at some point you will not have yourself to pedal at all, meaning that your habit is going to become so strong that it will pedal for you. You can also use the analogy of like investing. At first, you have to invest a lot of your own money to create wealth. But the more you go and the more your wealth, your accumulated wealth is building up, and then it's creating some interest out of that. Well, at some point, only the interest made upon the interest and that accumulated interest, that is going to be sufficient, that it's probably going to outweigh all of your own investment into the same bank account. So you get my point. So now you might ask, okay, Sam, how do I get started? How do I build my habits? And I want to break it down into 4 different strategies. And those 4 are actually, I have taken those from the book Atomic Habit. Great book if you are interested into this, building habits and building motivation over the long term. I strongly suggest to dive more into this book. But let's take the example of having an exercise program that now I gave you, or your physiotherapist or your personal trainer gave you, and you want to stick to those because, of course, that's mainly what I deal from. So what can you do? And that's also what I try to teach my clients when they come to me. What can you do to make those sticks? Again, you can apply that to any kind of habit that you want to implement. First of all, you want to make it easy, okay? You want to make that habit easy at the beginning. So for me, if I'm going to teach a series of exercises to someone, imagine if I give that person 12 exercises that is going to take them 45 minutes a day to do those. Do you think would you do those exercises? The answer is no. That's why at the beginning, I will give 1 exercise, maximum 2 to 5 minutes. And then you might ask, okay, well, I can probably do that. 2 minutes. It's quite easy to do. You can do it almost at any time. So the first step is always whatever you want to achieve, start slow or start easy. You want to start running. Go run tomorrow for 1 minute, not 10 minutes, 1 minute. Now you might say, well, Sam, this is so stupid. Like, of course I can do 1 minute. Perfect. The habit has to feel that it is so easy that you can't fail. You cannot fail. If you are like, oh, maybe I will be able to do it or not, I will be able to squeeze it in my schedule or not, then it's not easy enough. Put it so easy that you cannot fail. So 1 exercise, 1 time, you have to do it maybe 10 reps. This is going to take you max like 1 to 2 minutes. That's it. If you have that, now the goal is not necessarily to improve yourself on the exercises. I would say at the beginning, that is a secondary objective. The first objective is building the habit. Once the habit is there, then you can throw out more exercises. It doesn't matter because your habit of doing those exercises is already there. Okay, that's to make it easy. Then there's a second one, make it obvious. Make it obvious means that you want to design your environment. You want to design your schedule so that that specific habit becomes obvious. Again, using the example of doing your exercises for rehab. When are you going to do those exercises? We need to pinpoint that into your schedule. And the best is habit stacking. What I mean by habit stacking is that you're going to do those exercises or that whatever habit you're trying to be motivated for, and you're going to stick it with a habit you already have. To take again the example of brushing your teeth, you are brushing your teeth every single day. So every time you brush your teeth, you are going to do your exercises that I gave you. Then you will have much more chance for you to remember it. If it's just on your list for today, oh yeah, later, no. It has to be attached to a specific thing. If for you, you have to do your exercises, that implies that you need to use some kind of a band, for example. Well, don't hide your band, very far into your things. Put it straight in your face. Put it where your office is, right on your desk. Then you will remember to do them. So the second one is make it obvious. Then the third one, make it rewarding. The reward you want to associate with your habit has to be also supporting your goals. In other terms, imagine if you're trying to lose weight and every time you go for a run or you go for a gym session, then you will attach the reward is going to be a big donut. I am guilty. I eat donuts all the time. But imagine if you do that. Well, it's not really supporting your goal. So even though it's nice for you, you also want that to be supporting your goal, right? So another example of, okay, I know that I want to stick to those exercises because they will help me feel better in my body. Well, how else can you feel better in your body? I really like to go to sauna. This is nicely, relaxing, supporting your objective. Great. Every time you are going to do your series of exercises, you can allow yourself to go to sauna for like 10, 15 minutes. And now the trick part is if you make the reward happen every single time, at some point it will decrease a little bit the effect of like, hey, I'm having the reward. So what I suggest is take a coin and flip it. Every time you complete your habit, even if you go for that 1 minute run, you do this one exercise, right? Every time you do that, flip a coin and say, okay, if it's tail, I'm going to have my reward. You flip it. If it is, then you have your reward. If it's not, then you don't have it. This way, it always keeps being a surprise. So in that sense, you're always going to feel like, oh, insane, like this is great. I can have my reward associated with this, but you're never sure if you're going to have it. So in that sense, it will keep your dopamine high and you will be able to, go forward and keep that motivation high at the same time. And the last but not least, the fourth point is make it attractive. So now we made it easy, start very small increment. We made it obvious. So meaning that it's right there in our faces. We've made it rewarding. So we attach some nice reward around it. But now I want you to make it attractive. And when I say attractive, I mean that you want to have fun doing it. So how can you make this fun? How can you make this like a level of play that basically you don't associate that habit with someone that you have or something that you have to constantly push for? You want to make it more fun. So if for you, you say, hey, I need to do those exercises, then why not I do those exercises playing with my kids? Or why don't I do those exercises and I listen to really nice music around it? Why don't I associate and I make the conditions of doing this specific habit fun, right? So if for you, you enjoy listening to a good podcast. So if for you, you enjoy being alone. If for you, you enjoy having, a friend to do those things. Well, why not associate that habit, if it's possible, with any of those things that make you feel good and make it feel attractive. So make it feel like you want to do it. You associate it with something fun. So those are the four things. Can you make it easy? So small increment. Can you make it attractive? Something fun to do. Can you make it obvious? Straight in your face. And can you make it rewarding? So something is nice associated with that. If you can organize those four, even just one is going to do great. But if you can organize those four around your habit, I'm telling you, you will not need motivation ever again, because now you're going to be building a habit that is going to support you. All right. So whatever you're trying to stick on, whatever it is a running routine, whatever it is a sticking to an exercise program, you want to start eating healthy, anything, any type of habit that you want to start, you can associate that with. Oh, and now you told me, hey, Sam, at the beginning, you told me that I was also able maybe to stop a habit, like stop smoking, stop eating junk food, anything you're trying to stop. It is also possible. You just have to do the opposite. So quickly, if for an habit you want to create, you're going to make it or try to make it easy, then if you're trying to stop a habit, you're going to make it very hard. You're going to make it very hard for you to smoke your cigarette. So every time that you smoke your cigarette, then you will associate that with, I have to go to the gym right after. You're going to kind of not punish yourself, but you're going to make it very hard for you. Another way to see that is, okay, if creating one is make it obvious, well, how can you make it non-obvious? Meaning you're going to hide your cigarettes very, very, very far so that every time you want a cigarette, you're going to have to catch them, like in your car, like not like one drawer away, very, very far. Make them physically not close to you. If you want also to make it unattractive, Another example would be, okay, if creating one is, I want to make it attractive. Well, if I want to stop one, I'm going to make it unattractive as possible. How can I do that? Example, you try to stop using social media on your phone. There are plenty of apps that makes it not only hard, so you have to enter a PIN code or you have to wait a certain amount of time before the social media app shows up, but also it will make it very unattractive, very not so fun. So another example would be sometimes when you use social media, your phone can show only black and white. I'm telling you, use your phone black and white. You are not going to want to use your phone or social media for a very long time because it becomes very boring. So can you make it not obvious, like very hard to get? Can you make it unattractive, not fun at all? Can you make it very hard? So associate that with, something that you will have to do very, very hard. Let's say, oh, if I want to allow myself to smoke a cigarette, then I need to go all the way downstairs, catch my cigarette, go outside, and you can even put your lighter somewhere else. So you have to do all of those different areas to get everything. I'm telling you, the more you put friction in between you and the habit you try to stop, the better the result. And at last, if you are creating a habit, you want a reward. Well, if you are trying to stop a habit, you can either associate no reward or you can associate a punishment. So every time again that you do the habit, you have to, every time I look at my phone or every time I eat a junk food, every time I smoke a cigarette, every time I forget my exercise program, I'm going to have to put $1 and give it to someone else, or put it, do a transfer to a friend that I have like signed a contract with. So you can play with all of those things. Of course, you don't have to use all of them, but the more you do, the better it's going to work. So remember, make it easy, make it obvious, make it attractive, and make it rewarding, or the opposite if you're trying to stop. So on that note, organize this, take like half an hour, write down the habit you're trying to build, write how you will be able to achieve all of those different 4 strategies, implement them now. And remember, at first you'll have to pedal a little bit more, but the more you'll go, the more this is going to be sustaining and it's going to support you to keep your motivation high. And after this, actually, you will not even need motivation because your habit is going to work for you. I hope that you enjoyed this short, compressed episode all about motivation and habit building. And I will see you in 2 weeks for another episode of the Internal Compass podcast.